Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Pits of Motor Chaos. This is your host, Dave. I got on a special guest drag racer, Antonio Zindroski. How you doing, Antonio?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. So, how was your Christmas and New Year?
Pretty good. Can't complain.
Did you get together with family at all?
Not really. Trying to stay away because this COVID thing.
So, how did COVID affect your drag racing this year? Did you get any events in?
Yeah. I went out this year with my dad on Wednesdays to Thompson, and we raced out there. He has a '87 Grand National, so we would take turns running with his car while mine was still getting put together. I ran my asphalt snowmobile at Dragway 42 a few times, and at the end of the year in August, we ran my 442 at 42, and we did the Rockin' Race, and then we also did the Halloween race too.
Nice. So, how'd the car run for you?
It's a new motor that I got from someone, so we have a little issues that we're going to fix over the winter, but it ran pretty good. Can't complain.
So, you want to tell us about the 442? All about the car, under the hood, all that good stuff?
Yeah, I got the car when I was 16 for a Christmas gift. It had no motor in it. After that, I bought a big black Buick 455, and I threw it in there and ran it for a few years, and then it was just real tired, so I saved up and I bought a big black Chevy 509 off of a friend of ours, and we weren't sure what was done with it, so we just figured, you know what, I'll just take it out and see what it would go. And then after racing for a few times, we ended up seeing that we needed a few more different parts to make it quicker. So right now it's tore apart, and then it's getting ready for next year. Hopefully it'll be a lot quicker than it is. But I have a 1970 442 Pro Street Cutlass.
Yeah, what kind of tires do you have on that car?
What kind of carbs?
No, what kind of tires?
It's tube chassis. It's got 33 1950s. It's a big tire car. So if I have enough horsepower, it will definitely stick.
So what class you run, bracket?
Yeah.
Now, how did you get into drag racing, Antonio?
When I was younger, I used to go out to the track with my dad. He used to race asphalt snowmobiles, and my cousins and uncles, they also raced junior dragsters and big cars for bracket racing. And after that, we bought my cousin's car off of him, and I raced at Dragway 42. I started in 2006 when I was 8, and I raced till I was 16, and then I got the big car, and then after that, I just started racing the big car.
So you never did the junior dragster thing?
Yeah, I did that from when I was 8 all the way up till I was 16.
Nah, so how'd you do in junior dragster? You have any success?
Yeah, I won quite a bit, actually. Most of the parts on my car that I could afford were from racing juniors, because when I was younger, my dad always told me to save my money if I want something. So he never took any money that I won from me, and I saved up and I could afford a bunch of parts, and then I just kept saving after a few years, and then it actually worked out because I got this big car, and then I ended up needing money, and I had it, so it actually worked out.
So how was your first time experience going down a drag race track and, the junior dragster? Were you nervous?
A little bit, but since I was little, I was always on four-wheelers and stuff, and my dad would take me for rides around the track and the IX Center when he did the Autorama with his snowmobile. So, I'm used to going fast, but when I ran the junior by myself, it was kind of nerve-wracking because you have all the control. You don't have anyone else besides you. But after a few times going down, it was definitely fun. It's an adrenaline rush, that's for sure.
So how was your, transformation going from a junior to a big car? How'd that go?
It's a lot different because I'm used to sitting so far back and the wheels being so far up, and I'm not used to really racing a big car. But it's nice. I love this car. I love racing big cars. So hopefully this year we can do a lot more bracket racing and go travel around to go to different tracks.
So how was your first time experience going on the track with the big car?
Oh, it was crazy. We had a Halloween. I mean, not a Halloween. A high school drag at Summit Motorsports Park, and that's the first time I took the car on the track. And I mean, it was a moment I'll never forget. It's crazy how fast these cars actually go.
So what's the fastest you gone in that car so far?
We were gonna do quarter mile this year, but they ended up changing it to eighth, so it went 750. But if you do the conversions, it should be around to like 1150. But in my dad's car, I got it to go 1085. That's the fastest I've been in a big car.
Now, you guys hoping to get that car going faster next year?
Oh yeah, we got a lot of parts. I got new cam, lifters, valves. Maybe gonna go with new heads. And I have a kit of nitrous that I want to put on it, but I don't really know if I want to do that yet. So we're gonna see what it goes on all motor, and then if I need to, I'll throw the kit of nitrous on it.
Now, do you have any drag racers that you look up to or inspire you?
I mean, there's a lot of them. I mean, I grew up with a bunch of buddies that drag race, and I mean, it's crazy seeing how much they have changed. Matt Daddis is one of the big guys that I grew up with, and that kid's unstoppable. He's great at racing. And I pretty much just looked up to him. My cousin, he races dragsters. My uncle, my dad. I mean, there's a lot of other buddies like Nick Hastings. He's a really good drag racer that I grew up with. Mostly everyone that I look up to is just who I grew up with, because we all grew up together and we all know what we started with and what we are finishing at now.
Now, do you watch NHRA at all?
Yeah.
So who do you look up to? Any of those guys?
I mean, John Force is a big guy. Antron Brown, he was always one of my top guys, because he started off on bikes and then he ended up moving to dragster, and then they're great racers, and I've always wanted to meet one of them, and then I finally got the chance at Summit Motorsports Park when they had the Night Under Fire. John Force was there, and I stood in the pouring rain waiting for his autograph, and it was crazy, because he just told me come right up into his camper and he'll sign the paper for me, and it was a great experience.
Did you get a picture with him?
Yeah.
Awesome. So now for you, do you get any people in the pits that want to sit in your car yet?
Quite a few people, like family friends that have never seen the car before, they want to, but like a bunch of kids that come up to it, they all love it. I mean, I drive the car on the street every day. I go to car shows every single day. I'm in a car club, the Motorheads Car Club of Cleveland. We host shows. I go to every single day when I come home from work, I'm at a show. And then on the weekends, I put on the trailer and take it to the track.
Nice. So now, what do you enjoy most about being a drag racer?
Really just being out with my friends and family and having a good time, because, I mean, once you hit the track, it's like any worries that you had at home or, with your buddies, as soon as you hit the track, it's like everyone is they're all open-minded, and all they're trying to do is just have a good time.
Yeah, that's all I hear from everybody, and when I do interviews, it's all just, one big family drag racing.
Yeah, it's definitely a game changer. It was just crazy, because like when I first started off, I didn't really have that many friends, and then I grew up with a few buddies that race, and then my buddy Nick, he grew up with me, and we're still friends. We're super close. I mean, we hang out every day. We're building his car now. He's got a Nova, so I mean, it's cool, because when you first start off, you don't really know anybody, and then you're kind of nervous because you don't know how people are going to react if you like win or lose. But I've never had an issue with anybody having an attitude with me or getting mad. It's always been family related sport.
Yeah, your friends just keep growing and growing and growing in drag racing.
That's right.
So is there anything that you hate about drag racing?
No. Besides the cost of it. I mean, it's a lot of money. But other than that, No, I love it. I could do it every day if I could. But the only thing that I hate is how much money you got to put into these cars. Those little cars, it really wasn't that bad. Just buying like helmets, racing suit, belts, just changing a few little parts on it. These big cars, I mean, it costs you an arm and a leg to just change one part on this car.
So now, how old are you now?
22.
22. You started out when you're 8, right?
What was that?
You started out when you're 8 years old, right?
Yeah.
So after all these years of drag racing now, Antonio, what still keeps you passionate about it?
Honestly, it's just when I go to the track, no matter what, like I'll race my truck on Wednesdays. I'll race anything at the track. I don't care. It's just like when I go there, it's just you're free. You're free to pretty much do whatever you want. You can go as fast as you want. You ain't got to worry about getting pulled over. No issues. You just pay your fee and get in, and you can just have a good time. Do whatever you want. It's pretty much like an adult playground.
Now, if you could have the drag racing fans that come to watch you, remember one thing about you, Antonio, what would you want that one thing to be that they remember about you?
Caring and believing, because, I mean, like, if anyone needs help, I care. I'll help you out if I can. And no matter what, you always just got to believe in yourself and just stay safe out there, because it's definitely not an easy sport to do. And, if anyone ever needs help or if someone gets hurt, we're always there. So that's how I've always been.
Now, do you think you can get any better as a drag racer? And if so, how do you achieve that to get better?
Yeah, for me, I have to get used to the big car because I haven't really had that much seat time in it. I mean, I've raced a few times last year with this motor, but if I get this all set up, I think that I can get pretty deadly with the numbers, because it ran consistent last year, but we just had a few electrical issues. So once we get that figured out, the car should run the same number, and I should be right there. It should be pretty smooth from there, and I think that's what the big goal is here. Is if the car will run, I think I can do it.
Now, when you get out there on the track, do you have any pre-race rituals or superstitions when you get out there?
All I do is just say a prayer to God to watch over me, and then get up there on stage, and then just take off. I pray every time before I go on the track.
All right. Now, who are all your crew members that keep this car going?
My dad's the biggest one. My buddy Nick, my buddy Zach, my uncles, close family friend Frank. He does all the work on my motor. Pretty much just family and friends.
Now, do you have any sponsorship at all?
No, I don't. But hopefully, once people see how the car runs and how I am, hopefully I can get one. I had one when I was in a junior, but this is a big car, so it's kind of different. I don't really have as much seat time as I did when I was in the junior, but hopefully after a few years, once everyone sees it, maybe I can get one.
All right. Now, if we have any, listeners, young listeners or old listeners listening, and they're thinking about getting into drag racing, what kind of advice would you give them?
If you like going fast, this is definitely the sport for you. Just know that it is going to be scary at first. So don't be scared. But it definitely is a great sport. You meet a lot of close friends that you stay friends forever. Great people. You never have any problems with anyone. If you need help, someone's there. So, what I would say is don't be scared to ask for help if you need it. And don't worry, because you're not alone, because someone else will be there. It doesn't matter where you're at. If you beat them, if you lose to them, they'll try to help you as much as they can.
Now, what would you say was one of your biggest wins for you so far?
Well, when I was years old, I ran at Thompson Motorsports Park, or Thompson Raceway Park, and they had a big junior race there. There was probably around 70 cars, I would say, there, and I won King of the Track, which is a 4-foot trophy. I won Best Engineered, Quick 16 #1 qualifier, Best Reaction Time, and I won my class for 790.
Nice. Now, what would you consider to be the milestones that you've hit so far in your drag racing?
Really, I don't have any.
You'll get some. Hopefully with this big car you'll hit some milestones.
Yeah, that's the plan, because I used to race asphalt snowmobiles a lot, and I didn't really do much with the big car. I just drove it on the street, but we got rid of a sled, and my dad just bought another one for him, so hopefully he can go out and run that, and then I can run my car, and it'll be nice having the family back out racing together.
Now, for the big car, what speed are you hoping to get that car up to?
It's kind of hard to say because the gear I have in it isn't really for a quarter mile, but I'm hoping to get it in the 10s, which would probably be around 125, 130, but it really just all depends. I like doing 8th mile racing, to be honest, because I feel like it's so much better, and I'm so used to it because when I did it when I was younger, I grew up running 8th mile, so I'm a lot of tracks now do 8th mile, so it's kind of hard, but they do renegade races. That's quarter mile, so I'm hoping to do that and see what it can go. Hopefully we can get the numbers we want.
Now, is there a lot of preparation in getting that car ready for a weekend?
No, I drive it every day, so it's pretty much ready. All I got to do is just put fuel in it again and put it in the trailer and just tire it down and go.
All right, so do you have any favorite tracks?
Dragway 42 is my favorite. And also Norwalk, which is from a motorsports park.
In Norwalk, Ohio. Now, you're talking about quarter mile, 8th mile. What do you prefer, quarter mile or 8th mile?
I prefer 8th because when I'm racing, I like to be right next to the person. I don't really want to chase you, and it feels like for 8th mile, no matter what the times are, as soon as you take off, it seems like you're pretty much just right there the whole time. So it gives you that adrenaline rush because you're not just worrying about, okay, I have to catch them, or, oh my God, they're going to come catch me. You're pretty much just right there, so it keeps you focused running 8th mile, and I like that one a lot.
Now, since you've started the bracket racing in the big car, do you have a greatest competitor out there?
No.
They're all equally competitive for you?
Yeah, they're all pretty tough. No matter when you go to the track, you ain't gonna come across no one that's not tough. Even if they're new, these new kids that come into these big cars, and even the guys that come in and they just throw a car together and just run it out there. Everyone's competitive.
Now, where do you get your fire safety equipment from?
Summit Racing.
Everything's from Summit?
Yeah.
All right, now, for you, have you had any accidents or close calls since you started drag racing?
Yeah, I ran my junior dragster, and I came off the track, and we had weight strapped on the back, and it shifted and threw the car into a ditch. But other than that, I haven't had any accidents.
No, knock on wood, you won't have no accidents.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so let me ask you some fun questions now, Antonio. If someone were to come up to you and give you $100 million and they wanted you to build a brand new drag race track, where would you consider building a new track at, and what kind of features would you want to put into that new track?
I'd say I'd try to keep it close to home, because Cleveland, Ohio, just because, I mean, that's where I grew up, and I love it here. I'd have to keep it local here, and I would like to put in. I'd have a drag strip, and then I'd like to put like tractor pulls and like a motocross track, because I mean kids nowadays they try to do different things, so it at least lets them see different views of how people are working and what's going on.
Yeah. Now, would you put if the little kids get bored, would you like have a playground and stuff?
Yeah. When I grew up at the old 42, it was nice because they had the racetrack, and then they had an open field, so they didn't really care if you drove your like little four-wheelers around or whatever. And then they had like a little playground, and all the kids would sit on this one big tractor tire and just watch their parents go down the track or watch a bunch of friends go down. It was cool. I would definitely do that.
All right. Now, do you have any hobbies outside of drag racing?
I coach wrestling, but other than that, I just did wrestling and drag racing.
All right. So, do you have any drag racing trophies?
Oh yeah, I have a ton of them. It's hard to keep track of where they are. Got to keep them in boxes.
All right. Now, if you could hit a time travel machine and go back into time, would you do anything differently with your drag racing career?
I would definitely want to go back to junior dragsters, because that was the funnest time, and I would probably take it a little bit more serious, because I was just I was a kid, so I didn't really know. But after just seeing how things work now, I would definitely love to go back and do juniors again. I wish I still had mine.
What did you sell it?
I sold it in 2013 because I got too big for it, and then it's pretty crazy because after my accident, my dad surprised me with my dad and my mom. They painted it for me. They took it, got it painted, and I came home one day and they opened the garage and it was painted. And a few months ago, when I went to 42 to race, my car was out there and it was still painted the same color. And it's been through 6 different owners, and it's been the same paint job. Nothing has changed on the car.
Wow.
So it kind of makes me miss going back to the old days, because I see my car every weekend out there.
Now, what's your favorite food to eat?
My favorite food?
Yeah.
Pasta. I'm Italian. I love it.
All right. So, what's your favorite beverage?
Pepsi.
You have any brothers or sisters?
Yeah, I have 1 brother and 3 sisters.
Older or younger?
Older.
They like drag racing?
My sister, she tried it. It didn't really work out for her, but she loves going out to the track. I mean, she'll do anything to go out there and just spend the time with us. My other 2 sisters, they're not really. I mean, they're into it. They like it, but they probably don't really prefer it. But I know they would definitely go out and watch, because anytime I go out, they always want to come out and support me. And my brother, he's kind of distant, so I don't really. He did like the track, but I don't know if he would now. He works so much, so I feel like it kind of just lost his interest.
You got a girlfriend?
Yeah.
She like drag racing?
Yeah, I think so. We're gonna get her there. She's not used to it, so hopefully soon she'll understand what it's like. It kind of seems boring to her probably, because you just sit there all day, and then you got to deal with stress, because when I come back, I have to try to adjust stuff, and it seems like I don't talk that much when I'm at the track, because when I'm there and I'm racing, I'm in my zone, so it's kind of hard to talk to me. But when I'm relaxed and I don't have to really work on the car, I'll talk to anybody. But it seems like I'm tensed up when I have to try to work on the car, because I'm in like a hurry.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe she'll come around and, she'll get into drag racing and support you.
Yeah.
All right, so what's your favorite movie of all time, Antonio?
It would have to be Right on Track. It was about Erica Enders and her sister. After I watched that movie probably a million times when I was younger, and it made me love racing even more. And then, growing up now, and now I see her actually in NHRA racing. It's like, wow, it's cool seeing a realistic movie come out and it actually be, pretty much just like you.
Right.
Besides, she's a girl.
Right. All right. Now, what's your favorite music to listen to?
Country.
Now, you like the older country or new country?
The new country.
What's your favorite country artist?
I would have to say Justin Champagne.
Now, have you seen Justin Champagne in concert?
No.
Not yet, huh?
Uh-uh.
Maybe one day, huh?
Right. Hopefully.
All right, so what was your favorite cartoon when you were growing up as a little kid?
Oh, I don't even remember when I was watching cartoons when I was a kid. I was never inside. I was always out in the garage with my dad. My dad would always go to his buddy's house, and he'd hop on the motorcycle and say, "You want to go?" I'm like, "Yep." I would always be right there with my dad. So I don't even really watch TV.
All right, so when you're at the track for a day racing, Antonio, how's your eating habits? Do you eat lightly during the race day and wait till the races are done, or do you eat regularly during the daytime?
I don't really eat much, but if I lose, then I'll go and just start eating. But if I'm winning and having fun there, I don't even think about eating. It's just racing.
Do you guys like cook at the track, like barbecue and stuff like that?
Yeah, we bring our camper, and then we have our car club come out normally when we're out there, and we all just have like a little picnic out there and enjoy the day. We all cook out.
All right, now, do you have most embarrassing moment out on the track?
Yeah, when I was younger, I sneezed in the finals for like a really big race for points, and I went red, and it was super red. So that was pretty embarrassing. And then my car, the transmission had a little malfunction, and it jumped through the lights, and it was pretty embarrassing because I had all my friends and family come out to watch me, and they all came out, and they just finally all got there to watch that one race. And of course, that was the race where I felt embarrassed because they all came out to watch, and they just saw me lose.
Yeah. So, if you weren't a drag racer, what do you think you'd be doing right now?
That's a good question. I don't know. It's tough to say because my dad's a mechanic, and I've always been wrenching since I was little. I rode snowmobiles when I was little, so it's kind of hard to say. Maybe doing like motocross or something because I rode dirt bikes a lot, but I don't know. It's kind of hard to say because I pretty much came out the room a drag racer.
All right, what's your favorite color?
Blue.
Are you a cat person or dog person?
Dog.
All right, now, what's your biggest pet peeve?
Don't really have one, but I'd probably say when I'm trying to do something or work on my car, and then people keep calling me or trying to like get me to stop working on it. I'm like, no. Like, if I want to work on my car, I need to work on it. So like, don't bug me when I'm working on my car.
All right, what would you consider to be the fondest memory of your drag racing career so far?
Probably getting in the big car and going on the track for the first time.
What's your second favorite memory?
Being able to run my dad's car down the track because I always told him that I never really wanted to get in his car, and he's like, "Yeah, it's okay. I don't want you to race my car," like joking around all the time. And the one day I went to the track, and I always keep my helmet and stuff just in case in the back of my truck. And my dad just said, "Hey, you want to run my car?" And I'm like, "Really?" Like, I was like in shock. Like, "Are you serious?" And he's like, "Yeah. This car is his baby." So it was really cool to be able to have my dad's trust to drive his car, because I knew if anything happened to his car, it would kill him. So this was awesome, being able to run my dad's car.
Yeah, it's like he's passing the torch on to you.
Yep. Yes, he is.
Now, as far as the sport of drag racing goes, Antonio, do you have any things on a bucket list that you would love to do in drag racing one day that's on a bucket list?
I would love to run one of the $1 million races that they have, or like a big money race. But it also does cost a lot to get into it, so that's why hopefully if I can get comfortable with the car and get used to doing everything with the car, maybe I can do one of those. But I definitely want to try to hit one of those $1 million races.
Now, do you have any tracks, on a bucket list that you want to go race at one day?
I want to run at the ZMAX track in North Carolina. Because it's 4 wide, and I think that'd be pretty cool. I've always wanted to go down it. I went there and watched an HRA, and I thought it was one of the coolest things I've ever seen. So it would be cool to be able to go down that.
Oh yeah, I can imagine seeing 4 nitro cars going at one time. It's got to be crazy.
Oh yeah, you have to hold your drinks because you can't leave them on the steps, or you can't leave them on the benches or nothing, because it will shake it off. Everyone was losing all their food, drinks. It was crazy, but it was definitely a memory I'm never gonna forget.
Now, any other tracks besides VMAX that you love to race at one day?
Georgia, because where they do Lights Out, and all the big drag radio racers, they all go there, so it'd be cool to be able to race on a track that they've all raced at.
All right, now, Antonio, if people are listening to this interview right now, or they listen to the recorded, version later, and they want to come see a race, what's the best way for them to find out where you're going to be at?
I'll always be at Drag Race 42, so if they ever wanted to come out and see my car, or even sit in it, or watch me race, that's where I'll be, at Drag Race 42, or Summit Motorsports Park, which is in Norwalk. I'll be at one of those 2 tracks.
And they should always come by the pits and say hello to you, right?
Oh, yes.
Don't be scared.
I ain't scared to meet new friends.
Yeah, sometimes you may look real busy thrashing on the car, but you always take a minute to acknowledge them, right?
Right, exactly.
Yep, so if little kids want to come in, parents, bring your kids out, they can come sit in the seat of Antonio's car.
Exactly, that's for sure. A lot of people, when I go to shows, they see their kids walking around and they want to sit in the car or take pictures with it, and I have no problem letting you sit in my car or take pictures with it.
Yeah, I'm sure you love giving these kids a memory of a lifetime.
Yep, because I put all my heart, sweat, and blood and tears into this car. So, I mean, it was my first ever big car, so we just painted it last winter, so, I mean, I care a lot about this car, so I know how much time and dedication it takes to be in a car like this.
Now, who did the paint job on the car?
Me and my dad.
Oh, okay.
It was our first car we ever painted.
So how long did it take you guys to paint it?
We had a lot of body work to do on it, because we don't know body work, so it was our first time, but I'd say a few months. Nothing too serious.
Now, do you think it's pretty important in this day and age for the youth to come out and watch drag racing?
Yeah, because it shows you, because when I grew up, my dad always told me, whatever you win, you can keep and save up. And that's how, I think that's what made me have so much control over my money now, because when I was younger, I always won money and I didn't know what to do with it. Well, I mean, it helps you think, well, what do I want to do with it? You can buy a car, you can buy what you like if you save up for it. And that's what helped me save up all my money, is just going out there, and after you win, it feels great to have money, because a lot of kids, they don't really want to go do anything. They all want to play video games or something, which is completely fine, but it seems like it's easier to win trophies or money drag racing.
Well, Antonio, I want to thank you very much for taking time to do this interview today.
Thank you for having me.
You have any final words or shout outs, any kind of good stuff like that before we close out?
Nope, just if anyone wants to come out and see the car, we'll be at Drag Race 42, and just stay safe out there, because it's a crazy world right now.
Yep. Well, Antonio, I wish you the best of luck next season with the drag racing.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
No problem, and thanks again for being on air.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. You have a great night.
All right, you too, thanks.
Okay, bye-bye.